Hey guys, Skrub here, and today I have a zombies video for you guys. Playing some Rise and Rock. I think this might have been an outtake from one of my streams. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't. No idea. But anyways, I figured since I have been streaming some zombies lately, thought that I would go over my strategy. Break it down by a lot. See, early round strats. Once you get into those high rounds, what to do with things like the zombie shield and the Ragnaroks, and what bow that I get and what guns that I get and things like that. And because I have this video is 15 minutes long, which I'm not really good with long commentaries because I can talk quick and I can get what I have to get done really quickly. So I figured I'd try to make this commentary stretch out the video as long as I can. And I guess if it doesn't, I'll probably have to cut some of the video off. And that's also what I did with my Doom review, because I wanted to show a lot of Doom gameplay because I really wanted you guys to see how good the game is. And like I said, I played some of the multiplayer. It sucks. It really does. Don't touch the multiplayer, man, but the campaign is great. But when it came to the Doom review, I just did like a quick 6-minute review or whatever, and then I put the rest of the gameplay up for you guys so you could see, like 9 or 10 minutes of unedited gameplay for you guys to check out the game for yourself. And like I said, man, if you got a red box nearby that sells it or something like that, $3 ain't gonna hurt much. So I would rent the game. You can finish it in a day and then take it back the next day. It's just $3, so it's not bad. But anyways, let's get down into this. So first, we'll talk about the first thing that you have to get done, which is the early rounds. Now, the early rounds are critical when it comes to strategy because the quicker you can get set up, the quicker you can get ready for those high rounds. The more points you can stock up, more perks you can get. Things like that. Now, I would have liked to have gotten a full bit-by-bit thing, like some video of me in the high rounds, some video of me in the middle, and then later on in the higher rounds what to do, and what to do in case certain scenarios happen. But in the high rounds, for one thing, you're going to want to do the whole maximize your point strategy around 8 bullets in the leg or the knee, and then knife once. And there's one critical thing that you have to remember when you're doing the dragons, when you're doing the spawner, when you're trying to get the most points. Man, I have no idea how I survived that. There's a ton of clutches in this gameplay I'll have to point out whenever I get to them, so sorry about that. But anyways, whenever you knife, you're going to want to move away slowly, and whenever you're about to knife them, the knife has a bit of range. It doesn't have to lunge either. It can slice at some range. You're going to want to move away slowly, and while you're backing away slowly, you're going to want to knife, because then instead of stabbing and lunging into the zombies and giving you a chance of picking up a nuke or something like that, which you do not want to do in the high rounds, or not high rounds, early rounds. You don't want to do it in the early rounds because it'll screw you over points-wise. It'll give you less zombies to feed the dragons and things like that. It will just slice like you were knifing regularly with no zombies, and if it does drop a power-up, it'll just stay there really close to you, by the way, so don't move forward right after you kill them, because you will pick up the power-up, but it will leave the power-up right there in front of you and give you a second to see if it's a nuke or max ammo, double points, or something that will help you, or if it will degrade you. So that is, basically what you want to do in the early rounds. What you want to avoid nukes, you want to avoid insta-kills, and you want to avoid death, obviously, in the early rounds. But avoiding death in the early rounds is probably just as important as avoiding death in the high rounds, because you only have 3 quick revives on solo. And obviously, if you waste one of those in the early rounds, it's going to really degrade you. And if I do get quick revive early, like round 8 or something like that, which is probably around the time I get it, if I down on round 10 or before, I just end the game. I don't even continue because it's just no point. I make sure that I do not down early, or I'll just end the game and restart. And it is kind of a pain, but it's, the right thing to do, I feel. And another thing too, if I was you, I would buy Jug and the things you need for survival before getting quick revive, because there's a strategy you can go a long ways with these things. But with gobblegums and perks and things like that, people always say, do you buy the things in case you die, or buy the things to help you, not die? And they do this with gobblegums like Aftertaste, that will help you if you die, or do you want a gobblegum that will stop you from dying? So the way I feel, you want to get Jug to stop you from dying, and then get quick revive in case you do die. So I feel that's my early round strat. Oh, another thing, don't buy the Bowie knife for points because it's $3,000. I would always buy the RK5, and I don't buy that until like round 6 or round 7, because the RK5 is actually a good point gun. It's not bad at all. And if you do need a gun to survive, don't buy the VMP or something like that. The RK5, if you're a decent enough zombies player, the RK5 can get you for a few rounds until you, I mean, definitely until you get to your bow, you know, until you get the Wrath of the Ancients. Yeah, excuse me. But, so I guess let's get to around, you know, the round 10 to 15 range, somewhere around there. So obviously, you want to get the 2 Ragnarok pieces. I know a lot of people disagree with me on this because it doesn't really increase your chances of doing anything or something like that, but now that's actually a good thing to realize too. Do not go for power-ups as soon as you see them in the high rounds or even in the early rounds, because you should not risk your life for it no matter what it is, unless it's max ammo. Maybe that's the only one I could justify, but I almost died trying to get a nuke on round 36. I don't know how I lived, honestly. But on round 10 to round 15, you're going to want to get the first 2 Ragnarok pieces as early as you can, maybe even earlier than round 10. But obviously, to get the 2 Ragnarok pieces, you want to go to the rocket test, hit that lever when the rocket test is going off, get back inside the rocket test room. Do not die, even though it is very hard with the electric and fire zombies that don't even give you any points. And then you're going to want to hit that switch, get in the teleporter, get the Ragnarok piece, and then turn on Death Ray, do the Wonder Sphere, get the Ragnarok piece. That way, as soon as you kill that Panzer on round 12, you can build the Ragnarok. So you don't have to wait around for anything. Or even if you kill a Panzer before round 12 by, you know, teleporting back in time. If you go back in time before round 12, you can kill a Panzer and get the Ragnarok piece from that, I do believe. I'm not mistaken. And my strategy is always with the wolf bow, because I'll get to that later. I've tried 2 different bows on this. I've tried the wolf bow and I tried the storm bow, because a bunch of people keep telling me that the wolf bow is useless and the storm bow is, you know, the best out of all of them, and if there's no way you can get to round 40 or 50 without it or whatever. And honestly, I got further with the wolf bow than I did with the storm bow. I just feel like the wolf bow has a way faster time to kill. Whether it does more damage or not, if I feel like it will kill them or at least knock them back very quickly. And with the storm bow, they're kind of paralyzed in the air for forever, it feels like, and I just feel that it's not as useful to me training in this courtyard as the wolf bow is. But I say you want to get whatever bow you're doing done first. And I guess all 3 bows are okay, but the one that I would strongly disagree with is the void bow, because the void bow, the time to kill, I'm not trying to diss the void bow or anything. I do like the void bow. It was the first bow I got done, and it was probably one of my favorites for a while until I got the wolf bow, which is now my favorite. But the void bow, the time to kill is just not strong enough to support training right here, which is my whole strategy. Maybe for camping, if you wanted to do that, you could do that. But I just feel that the void bow's time to kill is too slow for my strategy. So if I had to rank it in usefulness, I'd probably say wolf bow is number 1. Stormbow and Firebow are probably tied at number 2. I've never tried it with the Firebow, and I only tried it once with the Stormbow. But Voidbow is definitely dead last. Sorry about that. It does look pretty sexy. I'll give it that. Voidbow is pretty sexy looking. And for the perks, since you could get these early and middle rounds, for the perks I would suggest getting Jug, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, and Quick Revive. Stamina Up is very vital for training, I find, because it'll get you that speed edge on the zombies. That, you know, if you're trying to run away, if you're going to die, this Stamina Up will really help you. Speed Cola is in case you have to use your gun, which I always get the Kudo with Deadwire, by the way. If you have to use your gun, Speed Cola will really help with the reload time. Obviously, it's what it does. But I feel using the bow is the strong point of this strategy. You don't really want to use your gun unless you absolutely have to, or if there's only a few zombies left in the round. I feel that max ammos come too prevalent. I mean, I actually get max ammos a lot whenever I'm doing my strategy. Max ammos come to me a lot, but I feel like now we can get into the late strategy, the high round strategy. Once you get to about round 20, you start this, and then take it to whatever round you can get. My personal best is round 39. Trying to get to at least round 44, trying to beat Alex's high record, and then I'm trying to get to round 50 is obviously the ultimate goal, but what I do is I take the wolf bow. So I guess if you want to use any other bow, you can just replace wolf with storm or fire or good God no void, please. Like, I beg of you. Like, I know the void bow is a good bow, but I feel solo it's not really good. It's very good at getting revives. It's very good at getting your back when you're doing, like Simon Says or something like that. It's very good at protecting. It's not very great solo, and it's not good at training at all. It's great at camping if you want to do that. But anyways, I'd take the wolf bow. I head up to courtyard, this area right here that you see me in this whole video. And this is where the zombie shield and stamina up and Ragnarok's come into play. Is I'd train counterclockwise. That's what it is, counterclockwise in the courtyard. Towards the church and then away from the church, and then, you know, just keep going like that in a circle like I'm doing in this video. Because I feel that the spot that I'm about to get into right now is great for looping the zombies around, and that spot is too tight whenever you go the other way to do anything really. And if you get into a tight spot, you run through here towards the stairs and then come out the other direction, and if you had to, fire off that wolf bow. So I feel that that is a great spot to do it at. And the zombie shield, you have got, there's no exceptions. You have to build the zombie shield and you have to use it. And if you lose it, you have to get it back as quick as you can. The zombie shield, when you are training, will get your ass so much. The zombie shield is so vital when you are training, especially right here. Because if you do not have it, the zombies will hit you from behind and you will die. I cannot stress how important this zombie shield is. I always build the zombie shield in 0G because, like you guys saw me do earlier, if my zombie shield breaks, I can run through church, get down into 0 gravity, pick up the zombie shield, go into the 115 thing that boosts you up into the air, and then just as soon as I get out of that 115 tube, I guess I'll call it, as soon as I get out of the tube, I just start running back into my train. The strategy isn't really recommended for people that want something very exciting. Zombies I just wouldn't recommend for people that want something exciting, unless you are trying to do some kind of challenging thing, like training at double tap, or training at the Wonders Fizz thing by the clock tower. That's where it is. Training by that thing, or training at double tap, that is extremely intense because it is a terrible training spot. I mean, they come from everywhere. It's just a bad training spot. So if you're wanting something intense, something exciting, something terrifying, training there, and especially with no bow, if you train with only like a gun or something like that, it's going to be really intense, really terrifying. And if you're a thrill seeker, I'd recommend you doing that. Not many people find fun in running in circles with a wolf bow for 50 rounds or whatever, but I feel it's a great strategy to get you into the high rounds. And the whole reason I use this strategy and not you know, camping or something like that is I feel that this strategy is just more fun to me than camping. And oh yeah, I forgot what you do with the Ragnaroks. Whenever there's a Panzer around, you place it on the Ragnaroks, and hopefully it will get your back when you're killing the zombies, or hopefully it'll freeze that Panzer for a little bit. But I've noticed this weird glitch. Maybe it's not a glitch, maybe it's on purpose. But whenever I'm training, or not whenever I'm training, whenever I place the Ragnaroks, when the Panzer goes up in the air, he does not, like, the bow arrows will just go through him. They won't, you know what I mean? They won't kill him. They won't hit him. They'll just kind of flow right through him. So maybe that's a glitch, maybe it's on purpose, but I do recommend that if you're going to use Ragnaroks to freeze a Panzer or something like that, maybe just do it temporarily to get to Death Ray. I never actually do that. I always just try freezing him. I don't know why I took this aftertaste right here, because I have no quick revive. But, you know, the Ragnaroks, for some whatever reason, whenever I'm trying to shoot him with the wolf bow, whenever he's frozen in air, it does not work. The arrows just go straight through him. So that is kind of my high round strategy, broken down bit by bit. If you were wondering what I do, you know, and you couldn't gather that from my streams, or you haven't been watching my streams even, which I'm fine with. You know, some people just don't care to see them because they do last about an hour and a half each, because zombies games are pretty long. And you're about to see a prime example of the arrows just going through the Panzer right about here. I mean, but anyways, if you just don't want to watch the streams, that's fine, because it does take a long time. Or if you're just not there whenever I am streaming, fine with that too. But if you were wondering what my high round strategy was, that is it. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm stressed for commentary topics lately. I haven't been finding any, so I thought I'd just do this because it was something that I could do quick yet long. Anyways, guys, that is all I have. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you use the strategy, and if you do, tell me how far you get, because I am wanting to know. Me, Skrub. Peace out.